Okay, so let's see how to connect to a remote Windows computer from Linux. We're going to use Remmina, which is a popular client to connect to remote desktops. But first, let's talk about prerequisites. So first, we have to make sure that the Windows PC, the one that we want to connect to, and the Linux computer, the one we're physically on, they have to be on the same Wi-Fi network. Of course, it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi, but they have to be on the same network. And another very important requirement is that we must have Windows Pro. It can be Windows Pro, Enterprise, or Education. But if you have Windows Home Edition, it's not going to work. Now, if you're not sure which version of Windows you're on, you can easily find out. So let me move to my Windows computer. Okay, I'm on my Windows computer now. And here, we can open the Windows Start menu and type WinVer. And here we can see it, WinVer. And this command shows us which version of Windows we're running. And as you can see, I'm running Windows 11 Pro. So as I said, Windows Pro does support remote desktop, so we're good to go. So the first thing we're going to do, and this is something that we need to do on the Windows computer, is to configure Windows for remote connections. So once again, let's open the Windows Start menu. And we need to look for Remote Desktop Settings. And here you can see this option, Remote Desktop Settings. And here, we simply need to turn it on. For me, it's already on, but in your case, it might be off. So it's very simple. You just need to click here. And after you do that, it's better to restart the computer. It might work even if you don't restart the computer, but in my experience, it will make life a bit simpler. So just go ahead and restart your computer. Once we're done with that, we can open the Windows terminal. So let's close this. And to open the Windows terminal, I'm simply going to right click on the Windows Start icon and choose Terminal. And here, we need to run this command, ipconfig. And where it says IPv4 address, that's the IP address of the Windows computer. So here is the number that we're going to use in a second. So I'm going to leave this window open so we can use it later. Next, we're going to find the resolution that we're running on Windows. So to do that, I'm going to right click on my desktop, then choose Display Settings. Here it is. And down here, we can see the resolution that we're currently using. So for me, it's 1920 by 1080. Once again, this information is going to be useful in a second when we connect to this Windows computer. So we're done with the setup. Let's now move to our Linux machine and connect to this Windows computer. Okay, so now I'm on my Linux machine, and now we can install and configure Remmina. So on Linux, let's open our terminal and let's update our package list. And now we can go ahead and install Remmina. So for me, Remmina was already installed, but if it wasn't installed, it would install it now. So now that we have it installed, let's start Remmina. And we need to add a new connection profile. So I'm going to click here on the plus icon. And we need to give a name to our new connection. I just call it My Windows PC, and you can call it any way you want. And here, where it says server, I'm going to type in the IP address that we found on Windows. So this is the IP address we found on Windows, and I'm going to type it here on the Linux so we can connect to Windows. And let's scroll down a bit. And here for the resolution, we can either go with custom and choose the resolution from our Windows machine. So in my case, as you might remember, it was this resolution, so I can simply choose it. Or we can simply go with use client resolution, and it will keep the resolution on our Linux machine for the connection. So both of these options should work fine. I'll just go with use client resolution. And let's save and connect. And we now need to provide our Windows username and password. And let's click on OK. And we're now connected remotely to the Windows machine. By the way, you can turn on full screen mode. And to do that, I'm going to hold the right control key. And while holding it, I'm going to press on F. So right control F, and we're now in full screen mode.